Hey, so back out here in the garage. I've already cut all these pieces. Basically, I just took a bunch of these scraps, cut them down to, about a 1/4 inch. It's a little less than a 1/4 inch. It's actually the same depth as this MDF core veneer. I used this on my friend's vanity, so I had some leftover pieces. So I just sawed everything down to this thickness. So I've got basically half a dozen different woods, but some of them are different grain orientations. So you can see here, like some of it's vertical, horizontal, that sort of thing. I'm keeping some of these rough edges. I actually sawed down some plywood that I had just to get it to the thickness I wanted. All right, so basically these boards here are going to be the backboard. This is just some leftover MDF I have, and then all these are just going to get glued down to that. On the other side of it, I'm going to put these French cleats. Like I made just stripped down some of this for some to make some French cleats out of, so that'll be across the back, and then there'll be one on the bottom. So actually you could put it either way, but it's mostly just kind of to support this and keep these boards from separating. Though I don't think I'll have a problem with that because these will span over the joints and it'll all kind of hold together. It's not going to be that strong, but it doesn't really need to be. When I'm done, I will be putting a border around it, which will further strengthen it, so I'm not too worried about it. Anyway, for the time being, I started laying these out here, and I'm trying to be kind of random with the pattern, and then, cut some of them and whatnot. The problem is that I thought I was going to be clever and make some of these widths of these little chips here different. So some of them are 1 inch, like all of these are 1 inch, then this is like 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, this is like 2 inches. And I thought, I could just lay them out randomly and eventually they come back into line with each other. I'm not really sure how this is going to look in the end, but this is kind of what I'm going for. We'll see. I'm going to keep laying this out and we'll see how we do. So this is what I ended up with. I think that's the pattern I'm going to go with. This is just on here. It's not glued down or anything like that. What I'm going to end up doing, obviously these are running wild over here. What I'll do is glue all this down, and then probably get it back on the table saw and trim the edges and get it all nice and clean. And then I'll make the border for it. I'm not really sure what I'm going to use actually. I think probably I'm going to use this piece of wood here. This is oops. Let's see. This is what is this? I'm not sure what this is. I think it's just it's wood. I forget what it is. I think it's poplar. It's not maple. I think it might be poplar. I honestly can't remember, but that's probably what I'm going to use for it. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I've got my French cleats over there. I'm kind of anxious to get it done because I really want to get the computer mounted on here, and I think it'll look pretty good. I hope it's not too weird. I don't know. I like it, and that's what matters. I'm the one that's going to look at it mostly, so there you go. Hey, so I got this kind of trimmed up, and I got these rails on the back. So this is the cleat to hang it on the wall, and this is just a spacer. This just keeps the board off the wall, even with this up here. So yeah, that's it basically. This would be the cleat that would go on the wall. I'm actually I'm not gonna use this piece because it's a little thin. I might use that one right there, or I'll find a different one, but you know, basically this just goes up under here, and this would attach to the wall, and then you hang it on there, and it's a pretty strong connection. So this is glued and screwed. You can probably see the panel here. It helps keep them together just so that if if the thing does flex, it's got some support on the back. Let me turn it over and show you the other side. Okay, so here's the front. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm still not done with it. I have these nice sticks over here that I'm gonna use to create sort of a picture frame around it, you know, so this will go basically right here. So it'll create a little picture frame around the whole thing, just like that. It's not gonna have any relief, it's just gonna be level, flat with it, both top and bottom. So you can see there how it's raised off the table, so it'll be raised off the wall, and then that way I can do a little bit of effect lighting if I choose to do that. A lot of this is just going to be covered with computer parts. I actually just like the fact that this is very rugged. I mean, you can't, probably from this camera's not picking up a lot of it, but you know, there's like gaps in the little chips here and all that, and it's rough. I'm not going to sand it down really at all, just maybe a few spots here and there just to get rid of some of the weird markings like this, but I might even just keep that there. I mean, I think actually the GPU is going to be over this anyway, so it doesn't matter. Almost ready for this to be mounted. Probably the next step after putting the frame around it is I need to go get some aluminum flat bar. Those are the things that I'm going to use to fasten. So I'm going to fasten the bars to this with some like construction screws, kind of like you saw on the back side of this. Okay, that's about all I got for today, and I will bring you back.